Hey everybody, welcome to our session on, this is our series one. It's about study permits and study permit rejection. My name is Vijay. I'm an RCIC, an immigration consultant, and just a little bit of background on myself. I'm an ex-MBA and alumni from Smith School for Business, Queen's University, Kingston, Ontario, and currently we are based in Mississauga. So without any further ado, let's dive into the topic. Let's start with study permits. Just a few things to remember. Number one is, it's time. Now, there are three intakes in Canada. One is in January, one is in May, and the other is in September. So for the sake of this session, let's assume that you are planning to go to January 2023 intake. Then I would recommend that your planning has to start in 2022 March or April. You at least need 6 to 7 months minimum to plan. And when I say plan, I'm going to talk about it a little more in this video. First thing first is going to be about IELTS. Since most of the students from India, Pakistan, Nepal, UAE, other than the native English-speaking countries require an IELTS academics exam. So what I would recommend is, some people have had a gap in their education, or they haven't been so used to academics. It takes a few attempts. So there's absolutely no shame in writing IELTS a few times till you get a score, a 7 or higher. Sometimes it's typically that whole deer in front of the headlight situation. So there's absolutely nothing wrong in writing it a few times and then applying for admissions and applying for your visa using the best report card. Like, let's assume you wrote it 3 times, just use the report that has the best scores out of the 3. It significantly increases your chance of getting a decent college and also getting an approval on the study permit. The next thing is what kind of college and what kind of course that you're going to take. Do not only look at academics. Let's cut to the chase. We are all coming here to become permanent residents. So what I would recommend is, pick a province or pick the college based on the availability of immigration options. What I mean is, let's assume you are single, you recently passed out of college, you are around 24, 23 years old, you have 2 years of experience, and you already have a bachelor's that is recognized by WES. I would say Ontario would make sense because you've already built up those points to easily become a permanent resident. Versus somebody who has a diploma or who's 12th pass and is looking to come here to do another diploma, then you would fall short. So you would need some provincial programs that is designed specifically for international students. For example, Saskatchewan or Manitoba, and these programs keep changing back and forth. So that's why I say emphasis on planning, starting way ahead, at least 8 months in advance. Finally, for example, a lot of married couples with children or without children are wanting to come to Canada, and with the scores being so high in express entry, they are choosing the study option. But when you talk about the study option, again, a province that has a better, faster, INP program, for example, SINP, you graduate from Saskatchewan, 6 months get a job in Saskatchewan, you'll get a PR. So, you could rather do that and then migrate into BC or Ontario, and, so that you just get that whole PR thing out of the way and you're out there to conquer the world. Finally, the whole story, when I see the whole SOP, the whole link has to make sense. For example, if you have a bachelor's in logistics and then you work for a supply chain company, then probably higher education in supply chain would make sense. That you would want to increase your knowledge, that is better opportunities. So there has to be the linkage, and this linkage must be, somebody, for example, if there is this old lady sitting in Montreal, checking your application or making the decision, it has to make sense to her or him. It cannot be it cannot be completely different, or if it is completely different, then you should be able to justify it on your SOP. Now let's talk about, those are some tips. Just subscribe to my channel and you will know a lot more. Now let's talk about study permit rejections. Now rejections are common because the whole study permit volume has gone up significantly, but you've got to, I would say there are 80% chances of getting an approval after rejection if the application was done the right way in the beginning. We've got to have some basis to challenge them. Now, for example, if they come back using that the candidate is not returning to India, we should be like being a consultant or immigration lawyer. If the application was done right the first time, we can challenge it. We're going to make a separate series. We can talk about study permit rejections till the cows come home. So we'll, watch for our channel. And finally, why me, or why our firm, or why a reputable immigration lawyer, is because unlike permanent residency or unlike postgraduate work permit, a study permit is a persuasive visa, wherein the immigration officer has the authority to deny it. So that's why you need, it's like going into a court